Welcome to episode 94 of the Fly Route Podcast. I am your host, Anthony, aka Tony Playboy, aka Love Hurts, aka Zach Wilson's job application. And I'm here with the guys. Y'all got any AKAs for yourself?
Man, it's T.O., aka the Twig Street Baby, aka Mac and Cheese, no coordinator needed, rocking off season.
Hey, it's Cliff, aka the Glove, aka Matt White was originally a cowboy. Shout out.
Sam, aka Where is Tyler Boyd? I'm putting out an APB.
Damn, Tyler. Tyler Boyd is not cooking with all them extra targets he could be getting right now. We got an exciting show, recapping week 12 and breaking down an exciting week 13 coming up. Before we get started, make sure you follow on whatever platform you're listening on. We're live every week on Wednesday on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Look up the Fly Route Podcast so you can rock with us. We're going to get right into our recap with our most surprising and disappointing fantasy players of week 12.
Yep, so for the fantasy players of the week, we're going to start off with the disappointments, the players that are great players but had a bad week fantasy wise. So, got a couple of honorable mentions. Damian Pierce is on here for the second week in a row after a really strong start to his rookie year. He's kind of just fallen victim to the Texans' problems overall. So, he had 8 touches for 16 yards, ended with 4.6 fantasy points on the day. And our other honorable mention or dishonorable mention is Christian McCaffrey. He ended up with 32 rushing yards, 17 receiving yards, and 8.9 fantasy points on the day. But like my AKA said, the winner of this award is Tyler Boyd. He has not been able to get it going in the games that Jamar Chase has missed. Like Anthony mentioned a little bit ago, he was up against one of the worst passing defenses in fantasy. Pittsburgh was ranked 31st in fantasy points given up to wide receivers going into this game, and Tyler Boyd got 2 catches for 16 yards, 3.6 fantasy points, coming off of what was also a disappointing performance in Week 11 where he barely avoided being put on this list. But I actually ironically think his production will go back up when Jamar comes back, when he's not given like wide receiver 2 expectations. But for the good, this week, the surprising fantasy players of the week, I want to show love to some players who are not in the conversation every week. Yes, we could give fantasy player of the week to like Josh Jacobs and Travis Kelce every week. But I want to show some love to guys that were maybe rostered in a pretty low percentage of leagues and maybe got some people some wins if they started them for the honorable mentions. The first has to be Mike White. Came in and did a great job for the Jets in replacing Zach Wilson. I think has secured the job going forward for the rest of the year, but I'm sure we'll talk about that a little bit more. The second honorable mention is someone who Anthony was mentioned has been a roller coaster for him all year. Zay Jones had a great game, ended with I think 27 fantasy points on the day and a game-winning touchdown that they eventually won the game with on a 2-point conversion. And the third honorable mention is JaMychal Hasty, who came in and did a great job replacing Travis Etienne in that game. So the Jaguars and Jets offense are definitely the focus for this segment, and the winner is someone I think that a bunch of people probably did actually start after they heard the Zach Wilson news. The winner is Garrett Wilson, who had a great day with quarterback Mike White, and it seems like he's a real fantasy option again going forward after a great start to his rookie year. So the reason I give him the edge over the honorable mentions is I think that there was a much higher chance that people actually played Garrett Wilson over Zay Jones, Mike White, and JaMychal Hasty. So I think more people benefited in fantasy from Garrett Wilson popping off. And maybe the next likeliest person that someone would have started was Mike White, but he was only rostered in 13% of leagues going into the week, whereas Garrett Wilson was still rostered, I think, over like 80%. So Garrett Wilson, I think, actually gave people some fantasy wins this week. whereas the others probably did well on your bench. So that's it for the fantasy segment.
Zay Jones been beating my ass. It ain't even funny. I'm so tired. Like every time I sit him, he goes crazy. Goes absolutely crazy. All right, y'all. Let's get into the players of the week. What we got, Cliff?
So for offensive player of the week, it was tough. There was a lot of guys I had on my radar, but I went with the Q because I got him in the fantasy league, and it was just he finally, I feel like, got over that hump. He done had a few tough games. With Justin Herbert, had 274 passing yards and 3 TDs and the dub on the 2-point conversion to win it in regulation. So he had a huge game in a game they needed to win, in my opinion. And then for my defensive player of the week, there was some guys that went off, but I'm gonna go with because I low key like that Brian Burns low key like when it Russell Wilson. It was kind of funny. Brian Burns with the 3. He had 3 total tackles, 2 sacks, and a forced fumble. So that was a big game for him. Yeah, he went. That shit was just comical.
Hey, listen, real quick. I don't want to get off topic, but I seen something that was so hilarious though. It said, "Should Russell Wilson give the money back like a good Christian would?"
Oh, yo, that is fine.
I was weak. I was so weak, bro.
He in trouble out there. He in trouble
Yo,
out there.
you remember when people clowned the Seahawks for making that trade?
They did
Bro.
though.
Bro, the Seahawks over there like, hey,
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's like y'all thought Russell Wilson was that baddie that everybody thought was a baddie, but they had to deal with her in the home. And he was like, "Bro, y'all didn't know what y'all getting. You could go ahead and have her."
Oh man.
Like you don't know she keys cars yet.
shit crazy.
All right, we got the news coming up with T.O.
So to get started off here, to kick off the news, obviously we got tomorrow's Thursday night game, the Bills and the Pats. So some really big news for that game is Von Miller and tackle Deion Dawkins will be out for the Bills. And then for the Patriots, running back Damian Harris and Isaiah Wynn, the offensive lineman, will be out. But then also some big questionables for the Patriots. You got Jacoby Myers, the receiver, David Andrews, the starting center, the starting corner, Jalen Mills, Jabril Peppers, and Marcus Jones are all questionable. So some pretty big names for the Patriots. You also have Aaron Donald missing his first game of his career with an ankle injury. I think it's just more so him like, listen, this season, you know what I'm saying, we ain't doing nothing anyway, so I wanted to retire anyway, but anyways.
You should have. On the high
You
note.
probably should have.
Yo.
Yeah.
Boy.
He's sick right now.
Told you about them Rams, boy. I knew them Rams.
I mean, they
was
gave him
swoop,
that
boy.
bread though, like so, like
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
little
he paid.
bit.
He paid.
He paid. Yeah, he
He's
paid, but
sad,
he definitely
but-
sick. Yeah. So then we also got Kyle Pitts being out for the season after he had knee surgery. For the Ravens, you got J.K. Dobbins coming back from his injury as well. And then the Bears signed a quarterback, Tim Boyle, and defensive lineman Andrew Brown to their active roster. And just to mention, they both came from practice squads with other teams. And then also you got Darnell Mooney and Eddie Jackson got put on IR and they're out for the season. So that's really big for the Bears. Both of them arguably the best at their position, respectively, for the team. Then you have James Washington for the Cowboys is expected to have his 21-day practice window open. You got Broncos running back Mike Boone returning from IR. So also with that, maybe that's the reason why they cut or released Melvin Gordon, who got signed by the Chiefs.
We know why he got cut.
We know, but I'm saying they got him back.
I don't know
too.
why the
They got
fuck the
Mike
Chiefs
Boone.
signed him.
Because he can run the ball.
They don't even use Ronald Jones.
And he can give the ball up too.
That's the problem. Ronald
he-
Jones ain't running the ball well. Melvin
Isaiah
Gordon can run the
Isaiah
ball
Pacheco
well
is
and
nice,
give it
bro.
up. I don't think he's gonna supplant him. I just think it's like
Yeah.
depth because
Yeah.
they're like not super into Rojo.
That motherfucker really can't
Yeah,
hold
I
on to the
saw he's
ball
gonna be
though.
on
Like,
the
I don't
practice squad.
But he can
Yeah.
run the
Yeah,
hell
too.
out that ball before he let it go. That's
Yeah,
all I'm
yeah.
trying to say. He can run the hell out that ball before he let it go.
That's true.
He
That's
go
true.
let it go, but
But Ronald Jones had the same issue though. So it's like you got two people that's depth
just that.
behind Clyde Edwards-Helaire and
Clyde ain't
McKinnon
doing.
that
Clyde
fumble.
ain't doing shit.
Hey,
Clyde ain't doing shit. He ain't done shit
Eric
since the
McKinnon
first
been-
few games
you know
of the
what I'm
season. McKinnon and Bashenko is like, I mean, that's it. I
and
mean,
they
that's what
running the ball in case.
Yeah.
I like Bashenko a lot, for real.
Mm-hmm.
And then you also got Travis Etienne being day to day with his foot injury. The Vikings placed their corner Andrew Booth on IR. The Eagles are opening up the 21 practice window for Jordan Davis. Who's coming back. That's going to be big for them. Some more depth on that D line. Already stacked D line, I should say. Najee Harris. Status is up in the air. We just seen him get hurt the other night. And his status, like I said, is just up in the air. Don't know what's going to happen with him. Logan Ryan for the Bucks, defensive back. His 21-day practice window has also been designated. And then you have, last but not least, Jonathan Abram being released by the Packers after being there for 20 days, but then being claimed by the Seahawks. So now he's a Seahawk. So it got to be bad. He was only with them for 20 days, and they said, nah. So, I mean, to me, the Seahawks, it don't really make sense because you already have Jamal Adams. How different are they? They both not good in coverage.
Yeah.
What do y'all think?
Like they playing with house money, so it's so like does it matter?
That's
Like-
true.
Like that team might make the playoffs and still get a top 3 pick in the draft.
That's true.
like they really gotta play with house money. Like if none of them is good, like you will have 2 first-round picks this year, right? You can spend the latter one on a corner that you think can actually cover. I assume the top one you're gonna spend on the quarterback, even though Gino's balling. Like,
Hey, don't disrespect their corner. Tariq Woolen finna make the Pro Bowl.
you need 2. You need
Yeah,
at least.
you're
You
right.
need 2. Like,
Kobe
who's
Bryant
on the
better step
other
up.
side?
Kobe Bryant, ain't it?
Okay.
I don't know if he been balling, but I mean they winning, so they
They
winning.
is winning. They is winning. They're well coached. Like that's just a team that like it looks like it's gonna be real fast rebuild right now.
It really does. I'm not gonna lie.
It looks like a real fast rebuild in Seattle.
If they can get a long-term answer Q, I think so. Because Geno Smith, I don't think he's not the long-term answer. But if they can get a long-term answer at the quarterback position, then like you said, it'll be a quick turnaround for them to be competing every year.
I mean, yeah. Look, right now Denver's sitting at 3 for their pick, so that means Seattle's sitting at 3.
Yeah.
Like Bryce
finna get a top player. Cream
Will
of the crop.
Levis, C.J. Stroud. Those 3, they can get one of them 3.
That's so crazy, yeah.
They can
That-
get one of the 3. Like that's. Hey,
That's insane. That's insane now you think about it.
yeah. Like they. Can
Hey, don't.
get-
If my boy tears ACL, I like him too though from Tennessee. Hendon Hooker, I like him too.
Okay.
He just old, bro. He like a 25-year-old. He'll be like a 25-year-old rookie.
Yeah. But I mean, not saying everybody's like Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, but these quarterbacks playing for a long time.
Yeah.
That's because they don't want y'all to hit them no more.
Yeah.
Seen some of
So
them roughing the passing calls Brady getting.
ridiculous. Ridiculous. And look, that's my boy, and I can say that's ridiculous.
That is your guy.
Boy, you got Justin Fields, Lamar be out here getting creamed. Boy.
Yo, with no
OD
penalty.
too. No
Like
penalty.
late hit, Roughing the pass, they don't even care. They be like, you better knock that out.
Better hit him back.
Yeah.
Better.
He's like, it looked like he was trying to run the ball. Put him down. All right, let's get into the RPO. We go on the news?
Yeah, we good. That was it.
All right, facts. RPO, we take some of the hottest storylines from this week and let you know whether or not we are going to run or pass on them. This one, we're going to start with Sam. Aaron Rodgers leaves last game due to injury. We got to see a little bit of Jordan Love. He looked good. Do you think it's a mistake to let Rodgers stay the starter for the rest of the season? Run or pass?
I'm going to run with it. At this point, they have really no chance of making the playoffs. They have to make a decision on whether or not they're going to give Jordan Love his option. And I think at this point, you don't want Rodgers getting hurt or a worse injury, because even while the Packers have looked abysmal this year, Rodgers definitely still has it. I don't know if it's still the case, but he was leading the NFC in passing TDs at one point a few weeks ago, even though they were scoring 17 points a game, which is insane. And Aaron Rodgers is still making like crazy plays on the run. He still looks good. He just doesn't have a ton of weapons, and his O-line can't protect him. So I think at this point, benching him, tanking a little bit for a higher pick. I don't know if they have their first round pick. I assume so. And seeing what you have in a young quarterback, because I think Rodgers still has it in the tank for the next few years, but you got to, as your franchise, be looking beyond that. So I think just let Jordan Love play out the year. You're not going to make the playoffs. Don't want Rodgers to get more hurt than he already is. So I definitely see it as a mistake to just throw Rodgers back in there quickly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. They got a 7% chance, though, to still make the playoffs.
The question is, are they going to let Jordan Love play? Because they paying Aaron Rodgers too damn much money to just tank, get a higher pick, and then pick another quarterback. Something they don't need.
Right.
You
What
know
they
how
gonna-
they-
Or
Like,
they
what
can
they
pick
gonna
the
pick?
wideout that they need, like the top
Yeah.
wideout that they need, you know.
The question is, what they going to draft? If you're going to draft the position of need, let Jordan Love play a little bit, see what he can do. But if you just going to,
Draft a third running back.
you know what I'm saying? They would do something like that, though. They got A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones.
Yeah. They're going to trade down and draft a third running back.
Oh, my God.
Yo, we got T.O. up next. Mike White played a good game versus Chicago, and the Jets' locker room seems to be really behind him. If he starts to struggle this season, do you think the Jets should stick with him anyway? Run or pass?
I'm a run. And I think they should stick with him because he started 3 games last year, and I think he's learned a lot from the games that he started last year because he sees that he doesn't necessarily have to try to win with every throw. I don't have to try to win the game with every throw. And then the way he looked against the Bears was in the rain as well. Let's not forget that was in the rain. So, he looked good. And then also, he looked good in his 3 starts last year, except for he had like a bad game against the Bills or something like that. But, he looked good. Like, we know he can sling the rock. And, he can make plays, get his playmakers the ball. And then, honestly, I think Zach Wilson, it's not even about Mike White beating him out. It's more so about you lost the job. Like, you lost the job. Like, first of all, you don't go get up there on the stand and say, we average 2 inches, 2.8 inches a play in the second half and say you didn't let your defense down. All right. So, yeah, he lost. I think he lost the locker room, and it's just at this point it's time to pull the plug. He doesn't look good. He's skipping balls off the ground. People who are, relatively open. In the league, 1 yard, you're open. Like, you got to make that throw. So, I think they should keep Mike White, personally. I think he's a bust. I didn't like him coming out of college. It was just that one throw. Oh, are you? I'm like, come on now. I could have made that throw.
Like, ain't nobody know his name until like a month before they draft. That was crazy.
That's what I'm saying. They started talking about him late. He got that late hype. Like, bro, it's because he's a Q. That was the only reason.
That's all it is.
And teams needed Qs, so somebody always need a damn Q. So you get your
That's true.
you get your name out there a little bit right before the draft. Some buzz going. Shit, you can go top 5, top 10. When you really supposed to be a
and Trey
third round.
Lance.
When you really supposed to be a
Yeah.
third rounder. Like no
Yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah.
Him
They
and
played-
Trey Lance.
They played it right this past year with the Qs. I think Kenny Pickett went a little early, but we're gonna see how that plays out. But they played it right with the where they drafted those other guys though.
For sure. I think so too.
All right, this next one is for Cliff. The Eagles have the best record in football, but have played close one-possession games against the lowly Colts and Packers, in addition to losing against the Commanders over the last 3 weeks. Are the Eagles overrated? Run or pass?
I'm gonna sadly pass on it because I think in those last 3 weeks they lost a game they shouldn't have lost. Let's be real, that the face mask with the fumble play, like, damn, like how do y'all miss that? And then you review the fumble, knowing you can't change it. You can't face mask. You can't. It was a fumble, but it was a damn face mask that y'all missed, and it would have never happened. I think that play changed everything in that game, and I think it was a game they needed to lose. I think they need to lose a game, but they've been in close games with some teams they probably shouldn't have been in close games with, but they won. So they did what they need to do when they need to do it in the time to win the game. So whether that was getting a stop or scoring. So I think they're the best team in the NFC. I think if they had to go at it again with the, I think if they had to go at it again with the Vikings and even us, I think we can beat them, but I think they're an overall better team, and we'd have to catch them right. But we're gonna see you next time we match up. But yeah, I think the Eagles could be legit.
I think that's just the ebbs and flow of the season, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
there's gonna be some highs, there's gonna be some lows. Like in today's age, I don't see. Like honestly, like if you look at it, like you would think like a team like the Bills, like they were like just straight dominating everybody, right? But then like when you actually think about it, like do you really expect certain teams to dominate for 17 weeks, 18 weeks?
That's hard.
And I mean, all these people getting paid, no matter if you're playing the Lions, who they've been playing,
They got dubs.
decent ball.
They got
you know
four.
what I'm saying?
They got 4 wins.
You know what I'm saying?
And they was in it with the Bills. Like, man, it's the league.
They all professionals. They all professionals getting paid, and
Any given Sunday, man.
exactly. So
Okay. We got one more, and this one's for everyone. All right. Currently, all 4 NFC East teams are set to make the playoffs, with the Seahawks, Falcons, Lions, Panthers, Saints, and Packers technically in the hunt. Do you think all 4 NFC East teams will hold their spot? Run or pass? Let's start with Sam.
I'm going to pass on it. I think either the Giants or the Commanders are going to end up losing their spot, and I think that Washington will probably that Seattle will probably end up sneaking in ahead of one of them.
Okay.
The Giants especially have looked like they're struggling a bit lately, while the Commanders are trending up. So I kind of think that aren't they playing this week? Yeah, I think the winner of that game, that's going to say a lot about who can stay in the race, because I just don't think all 4 teams will make it, especially if they end up having to play each other. I know that the Eagles and Cowboys still have a game. I think they're both locks to make it, but I think Washington and New York are a little bit of a question mark.
All right.
yeah, I'm gonna have to pass too. But I honestly think the Giants and the Commanders could potentially fall out of playoff contention. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of. I feel like it could be potentially like you say, the Seahawks. I don't know. It's some teams that I feel like could make a run in the NFC. But then also looking at, you know, the Giants. Commanders, I really don't feel like. I feel like they're overplaying, like they're overperforming. And then at this point, just to see the Giants, I feel like they may be starting to break down a little bit. So,
Hey, are they overperforming or is Taylor Heineke really him?
I mean, I ain't gonna say he's him, but it should have never been Carson Wentz. That's all I'm gonna say. He should have never been an option. But
Yeah.
Oh shit.
What we
Well,
got, Cliff?
I think Sam and Teal that made great points. I think that they actually play. If I'm not mistaken, they played twice. They haven't played each other yet, right?
Yes.
So they got 5 games left, and they played twice within those. So those games is going to be, and the difference is the Commanders play the 49ers, the Browns, and the Cowboys in their 3 games outside of each other. And the Giants play the Vikings, Colts, and Eagles in their 3 games outside of it. So those games
that's what
between
I'm
each
saying.
those games between each other are going to be huge, but they could potentially both not make it, because I think they can lose. If say they split, that means you're going, and I think they lose all those other ones potentially. Then you really only win in 1 out of the last 5. I mean,
Damn.
yeah, that's bad.
So the Lions is gonna sneak in. The Panthers. We think the Seahawks could do it, right?
yeah,
I think
Seahawks.
everybody here thinks the Seahawks have a good shot.
They
But
should be
like,
the-
I
should
kind of
def-
think Detroit could. I mean, Detroit looks scary the last few weeks. They won 3 in a row. They've been playing well. They played the Bills well.
They about to get Jameson Williams back.
I mean, it could be them, or if
Just-
Kyler decide to stop playing Call of Duty, they might be able to do something.
Oh,
they have a
nah.
1% chance. And I'm just saying, like the equations they got out here have the Cardinals at a literal 1% chance.
The only percent chance they got, the best chance they got to win is this week. When they buy week.
Listen,
Yeah.
When they buy week,
Yeah.
they're not doing nothing, man. They not.
that boy Kyler got to stop, bro. He got to stop playing Call of Duty, and then they might win some
He
games.
committed to the wrong game. He committed to the wrong game, man.
Oh my god.
Yo, that's crazy. All right, hard knock life for them. All right, let's move on to the 5 fly picks. What's Papa saying?
All right, we're gonna do the 5 fly a bit different this week. I'm gonna post some questions and get the guys vote on what they think of some of these lines. So the first game we have on here is the Dolphins at the 49ers. This is one of the really good games this week, and the 49ers are favorites by 3.5 points on the road. I want to ask y'all, which core of offensive skill players would y'all rather have? Because I think these teams' offenses are kind of like sneakily comparable, even though the Dolphins' offense has been more explosive. So with the Dolphins, you got Tua, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Jeff Wilson, Raheem Mostert, Mike Gesicki. And with the 49ers, you got Jimmy G, Debo, Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk, Kittle, and Elijah Mitchell. So I want to get a vote on which core skill position players, including quarterbacks, y'all would rather have.
Well, I'll go first. I think personally that the Dolphins are more explosive. And I think Elijah Mitchell's out for like 8 weeks or something. He just got hurt again because he can't stay on the field, and I had to drop him. Just come back for 2 games and then you out again. Like, so that hurts them in their run game, because that's what that team's built around is running the ball, setting up play action for Jimmy G. I think Tua can throw the ball down the field more with his guys. I just think they're a little more explosive. So if the Niners can't control the ball, control the clock, I think it could be. But the Niners defense is also solid too, so that's going to be a good matchup. But it is going to come down to scoring more points, and I think the Dolphins can score more points.
Yeah, I'm conflicted, and the only reason I'm gonna say that is because when we look at Debo Samuel, right? I like him more as a gadget player than a true receiver. When they brought CMC to the San Fran, that put him pretty much solely as a pure receiver, right? And we haven't seen him pop off like he does when he's the wide back, running the ball more. So, I'm conflicted, but I'm gonna say just based on if we're going on base who needs to score more points, I'm gonna probably end up having to go with the Dolphins as well. But that's only because I think the Niners offense was more explosive with Debo as a gadget player.
Yeah, man. I'm also with the Dolphins. We ain't even say Tyreek Hill, bruh. Like we said,
it's
explosive.
unspoken things. Like we
Right.
know who Jalen Waddle
Yeah,
at the time.
That's unanimous.
Yeah. You said explosive, and they got Tyreek and Jalen on there, bruh. It's just it's difficult to stop that. And like they run game is still good because partial architect, not the architect, but he did a lot of work there for what made that Niners run game so good was Mike
That's a fact.
McDaniel, right?
Yeah.
So he can import the scheme.
Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson, I think I seem to remember being.
Hey,
pretty
he
good
came up. He brought them.
49ers.
Hey, and traded Edmonds. Edmonds, you wasn't it. He wasn't it. Get my guys back. Get my guys back. And they've been pretty solid.
I forgot
for
that they
sure.
sent him to Denver, right?
To get
Bro, I'd be
Chubb.
mad. I'd be so mad.
After
I'd
you
be
just
so
signed
mad
him, they
if I
just
was
signed
there.
him. They
Did he
just
even get
signed him.
burned?
Yeah, a little bit, but they
He
traded him
gonna
for the
have to
deadline.
now.
Yeah, he do. But I completely forgot he went there. That's
And he
another
went to a
reason why they
totally.
cut my boy.
He went to a worse. He went to a man. I feel bad for him, bro. He went from
He's on
Miami.
IR. I'm pretty sure he's on IR.
He
too.
went from Miami to Denver with Russ in him. Man, y'all sold me out.
High
Y'all
play
sold
for
me
high
out.
knees.
Y'all,
Hey, that boy up there.
in the mountains.
Yeah.
So it's a 4-0 for the Dolphins offense in terms of the core y'all would take. So does that mean that y'all are also taking the Dolphins in this game as road underdogs?
They're
I like it.
underdogs?
Yeah. Sorry, I misspoke earlier. The 49ers are at home. The Dolphins, and they are favored by 3.5 points.
Yes. Yes.
I'm taking the Dolphins.
Yeah.
They dogs?
Yeah, that's a 4-0 for the Dolphins then, because
What?
that's exactly what I was going to take too. The Dolphins are 3.5 point underdogs, and what I owe Tua an apology because the Dolphins are 8-0 in games that Tua has started and finished. That is crazy, bro. He hasn't lost a game that he's been in the whole game for.
The slander that you was putting on to his name this season
Yeah.
was crazy. It was crazy. You were talking about Tua like he was Ryan Leaf, bro.
He was calling for Teddy Two Gloves, man.
Yes, he
Stop
was.
playing.
Oh Lord, I own up to it. He's been great this year, and I just think their offense is too explosive. They've won 5 games in a row since he's come back from injury, and they've scored 30 points in their last 4 games, at least 30 points.
I ain't gonna hold y'all. I don't know if y'all saw this on social media, but apparently Mike McDaniel, because Tua was questioning himself like, do he suck and stuff, and Mike McDaniel put a whole highlight tape of like 90 plays or something like
It
that.
was 100, 600
Yeah.
plays.
It was like
Oh.
600 or 700 plays.
Yeah, hundreds of plays showing Tua like, no, you are him, and like honestly, like that's dope, bro. Like I ain't gonna lie, like
Yeah,
it's more than just football, you know.
that was
And
something we
being a
talked
Patriots
about.
fan, but
That was something
Yeah.
we talked about
I
before
respect
with having a coach that can coach a player and like get that build that relationship with him and like build his confidence, like, and not just be like,
Yeah.
go like he's still young. I mean, they both are. Now, like I said, I think that's why they can relate a little
Yeah.
more, and he can be real with them. So that shit's pretty dope.
Facts,
Even on
man.
game day and stuff, he walking down the sideline talking about Georgia, the best team in the SEC.
Yo,
I'm so glad Tua can't hear this.
told Tua that he YouTubed his high school footage and then Tua was trash. During the game on the sideline, he's like, "Yeah, man, I YouTubed you." And like, I saw your high school footage. Like, damn, your technique was trash. But like, you can see a little bit of your swag. And Tua said, "You know, I do got some swag." And he goes, "Oh no." No one that has swag says, "Ooh, I do have some swag." he was killing them.
That's funny as fuck.
And
That
shows
was
they got
one of
a
his
great
biggest
relationship.
knocks. Yeah, that was one of his biggest knocks going to college was his technique. But he's had the talent, it's just technique. But that's dope though. Mike McDaniel definitely a great coach.
Yeah. So that's a 4-0 for we all think the Dolphins are going to cover the spread at plus 3.5. And it's going to be a great game because it's like the Dolphins offense going up against the 49ers defense, which has been amazing. The 49ers defense the 49ers have won 4 games in a row and they've held opponents to 16 points or less in all 4 of those games. So that should be one of the really good games this week. Going
Two
into
head
the
coaches.
second one, yep, 2 great
Two
coaches.
head coaches that know each other really well too.
Yep. Going into the second game, we got Chiefs minus 2.5 at the Bengals. So the Bengals are really hot right now. They're expecting Jamar Chase to return this week, possibly, but they said that last week, so we'll see. The Bengals beat the Chiefs twice last year in their stretch of getting insanely hot and going to the Super Bowl. And right now, the line, I think, is 2.5 because Vegas remembers those losses that the Chiefs had, but I have a feeling they remember them too. The Chiefs, one thing to note going into this game, the Chiefs have struggled in the red zone, especially last week against the Rams, and the Bengals are number 6 in opponent red zone scoring percentage. So they're a strong defense in stopping their opponent from scoring in the red zone. So given that little tidbit, what do y'all think? Do y'all like the Chiefs at minus 2.5, or do y'all like the Bengals as underdogs?
Man, I say, I feel like you got to say Chiefs. If Jamar Chase plays, I might feel a little bit differently, right? But unless that happens, I feel like you got to say Chiefs. The big difference between the Chiefs that year and this year is that they run the ball. Like, they are willing to run the ball, keep the Bengals off the field, and eat clock now. And I think that's something that they didn't do well before. So I feel like that's a big one for me. I'm gonna say the Chiefs with low confidence.
Nah, I'm going high confidence Chiefs. Honestly, I mean Patrick Mahomes. Like even if it's a close game, end of the game, you give that man a chance to win the game, he gonna win the game. So it can be a close game, like 2-point spread here.
2.5.
Yeah, 2.5.
Listen, Mahomes gonna win that thing.
Yeah, I think it's tough if Jamar Chase plays. I think but I think it's gonna be a good game regardless. Part of me wants to be like the Bengals are gonna win again because I think they still can. But I'm gonna go with Mahomes and them boys and say that they're gonna get their revenge game after losing to them twice already. And the last time they played was in the playoffs, right?
Yeah,
So,
AFC
The
championship.
Eli Applegate.
Yeah, so I think they're gonna have it out to get that revenge back and be like we in the AFC.
Yeah,
Eli
that's
dodged the trash allegations in that game. He really did. He beat the trash allegations, the burnt toast allegations. He really did. He really did. Yeah, he really did. Yeah.
I still don't got faith in that man. I ain't gonna hold you.
No, I would not have him on my squad.
No, sir.
Liability.
No, sir.
Come on, y'all.
So that's a 4-0 for the Chiefs thing because I also had them as favorites. I feel like the Chiefs are I would say if I had to do a power ranking, I'd have them as the best team in the NFL right now. And I feel like 2.5 is the best spread you're going to get. for the Chiefs at this point because Vegas is factoring in the losses from last year. And while that is important, this is a new year, new season, new teams. So I feel like you got to take Chiefs as a 2.5-point favorite because you're probably not going to get that any other time. And I feel like even though the Bengals are hot, I feel like the Chiefs, I would say, are the best team right now. The third game I have is the Raiders are 1.5-point underdogs at home against the Chargers. So the Raiders are coming off back-to-back wins since Derek Carr cried. Are y'all believers?
No.
What?
No. I'm just gonna say no. I don't. I have faith that this team will find a way to lose games. That's what I have faith in. Now, granted, the only team that the only unit in football that I might have more faith in find a way to lose games than the Raiders is the Chargers defense.
That's what I was gonna say.
And
Could I
they're
throw you
stacked.
Can I throw you out a stat real quick to try to change your mind?
They're stacked. It don't even make
The
sense.
Chargers defense gives up the most yards per carry at 5.4 or 6. 5.4.
Is that worse than the previous 2 years? Because it was bad the previous 2 years.
Yeah, they're but okay, this year they're stacked, but then they lost Bosa and then lost J.C. Jackson, and J.C. was never right all season because he got surgery right before, then he came in, then he got hurt on knee injury again. I don't know if it's the same knee.
He was getting cooked though. He was getting cooked.
He was never right all season.
They also
knee
just
surgery.
They straight up cut Jerry Tillery, first round pick for them a couple years ago from Notre Dame, just because he was not able to perform there. So the reason I think that I'm taking Raiders in this game, other than that I believe that the crying has turned around the team, is that the Chargers just give up so many yards per carry, and Josh Jacobs is just fucking killing it right now. And I feel like the Raiders are just going to be able to run the ball all over the Chargers. And the Chargers just barely beat the Cardinals, got out by the skin of their teeth against a really bad team. And the Raiders seem kind of hot right now. They've rallied around their quarterback calling them out. And I think there is some validity to that, or some legitimacy to that. So I think I'm taking Raiders in this game. Anyone riding with me? Or is it 3?
Nah, I'm going Chargers. But the crazy thing is, we should be saying Raiders. They should have been a really good team. There's no reason for that roster to have that much talent, even if we're just looking at the offense. For the offense to be that talented. Yeah. And they only won right now 4 games, and they blew how many leads? So I don't know. I don't have faith in them still. And I'm going to ride with Herbert on this one. Honestly, him, Eckler, and all you gotta do is, like you say, score more points, and I think the Chargers can do that.
Yeah, we say they just barely beat the Cardinals. I'm pretty sure the Cardinals beat the Raiders on some shit on a fumble return for a touchdown. So
Hello.
they just, like Ann said, they find ways to lose games, and I think they got to resurge it, and I think they're gonna be able to run the ball. But they've lost games where they've run the ball well. So I just think they just don't. They're not a better team than the Chargers, even with the Chargers injuries and stuff. And hopefully they get some help back. I don't know what Mike Williams' timetable looked like, and Keenan Allen had his first game back, and Eckler's just been going crazy. He throws to him at least 10 times a game. Throws.
DeAndre Carter been balling too,
and Carter been balling too. And Palmer, they got guys stepping up. So, I think Herbert, like I said, he was my player of the week. I think he's putting it together, and hopefully, and against a division opponent like the Raiders who find ways to lose games. So, and you just found a way to win the game last week. So, I think you should be able to – it's going to be a good game, but I got to rock with the Chargers.
I like that. So, that's a 3-1 for the Chargers, who are 1.5-point favorites. Your boy's fading. I am with – my crying king, Derek Carr, and I think they're going to get it done. So the fourth game we got is Eagles and Titans. The Eagles are 5.5-point favorites at home. Like we said in the RPO, the Eagles have won some close games, lost a weird little lost a weird game against Washington, and the Titans managed to play themselves into a lot of close games and are kind of built to play that way with Derrick Henry, and they have one of the top rush defenses in the league. So what do y'all think? Do y'all think that the Titans can cover that 5.5 point spread, or do y'all think the Eagles put the gas on a little bit and win by a little bit more this week?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with them winning by more this week. I think the past couple of weeks were kind of like, their trials and tribulations of the season. So I think this week, because who finna guard all them receivers they got? I mean, and then you flip on the other side, you got Slay, who finna lock up Treylon Burks in his car seat. You ain't even got to put him on. You can put Bradbury, whoever you want to put on Treylon Burks. He finna be in the car seat the whole game.
Until he catch them, until he catch and dive on them fumbles.
I like the Eagles. I like the Eagles in this one.
I personally think that Burks has been pretty solid for them, and yeah, he was hurt, and we only seen a little bit of him, but
He's been solid, but has he went up against Darius Slay?
He the number one. He should be getting 10 targets a game. I don't care who's. I don't care if that's who he is. If that's who he is, that's what he needs to be getting, and they need to be able to run the ball. I mean, they got Derrick Henry, but do I think that they can win this game? I do actually think that they can win this game. They, just like Sam said, they're in a position where they put themselves in a lot of close games, and so do the Eagles. And I'll take the Eagles. I'll take the Titans' run game. I will take the Titans' run game versus the Eagles, rather than the other way around, because I like the Titans' run game versus Miles Sanders. It's really going to be stopping Jalen Hurts.
He's been running really good this year, though.
I know, but I like the Titans' run defense has been solid, and it's going to come down to. I think it's going to come down to coaching in this game, because it's the type of game where I think both teams are playoff teams. And the Titans have beat really good teams. Like, they've shown that they can beat good teams.
The RPO for the Eagles is tough too, and then you got AJ Brown. I don't know who the hell on the Titans for the cover.
It's cool. I like the Eagles, but I don't be surprised if the Titans win. But I'm taking the Eagles to definitely cover the 5.5 spread. But I think it's going to be a solid game.
We're taking the Eagles to cover the spread. I'm not. I'm not taking the Eagles to cover the spread. Nah. The Eagles have not been playing great football. They've been winning the games, but like, if you only beat the Colts by like what, 3 points or something, 1 point or something like that, bro. One. Come on, bro. Like, I ain't even hating on Jeff Saturday no more. Right? Like,
honestly, yeah.
I'm not even hating on Jeff Saturday no more. I'm just saying, come on, son. Like, I'm not gonna say the Titans will win this game, even though I think like there's a good chance the Titans actually win.
You just think they'll cover the spread?
Because like the Titans have been playing crazy. They've won 7 of their last 9. Like, they started bad, but ever since like that really bad start where we were like, oh, can the Jaguars win the division?
Yeah.
I remember that on this podcast.
Yeah.
I just think they gotta like. The Eagles have to play a full game. Like, they'll come out hot and score on every possession.
4
but
quarters,
then
and go missing for a quarter and a half.
Yeah. So I think they got to play a full game. Honestly, I think they can win by a touchdown to 10 points if they play a full game. Because honestly, if I'm defensive coordinator, I'm playing man to man on whoever your receivers is, and I'm packing the hell out of the box.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make Tannehill beat me.
That's
you ain't
the
have
answer.
to say it like that.
That's the answer.
You did not have to say it like that. So.
Look, no disrespect.
No, that was disrespect. That was disrespect. Like, respectfully, I don't think you can beat me. You can't win this game.
Hey.
No, that was disrespect.
That's all I'm saying. Personally, that's all I'm saying.
Personally.
So this one is a 2-2. We got me and Anthony going with the Titans to cover the spread. We got Tio and Cliff going with the Eagles.
I think Cliff took the Titans to cover, right?
No.
I think it's gonna be a close game, but I think the Eagles win by a touchdown.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that game is going to be crazy. And while people say this about a lot of teams, I think that this is actually true for the Titans. That no one really wants to play them. They're good, even though they're not elite. But they like put teams through a slog. Like they run the ball at you almost every play, and then they break off a few big passes here and there. And then their defense, like against the run, is great. They do struggle a bit against the pass, but they're not going to let you just run the ball and run out the clock against them.
Right.
Whereas their offense is kind of built to do that against you. So it's kind of like one of those tricky modern day NFL offense or NFL teams that are built on running game and defense and just like clock management. So I think the Titans are just in a position to, even if they don't win this game, I think they could like lose by a field goal.
I mean, who the hell want to tackle Derrick Henry 30 times a game?
In 30-degree weather. Not
I'm
I.
saying, hell no.
Not I. No sir.
He just need to start catching the ball better, and then he'll be.
I mean, the play he should have scored on when he fumbled was a catch. A little,
Yeah.
a little
He
backdoor
actually took
screen.
it. He took
Yeah,
it too.
yeah.
He took that John. Like
Yeah.
He can do that in the open field. Like you get him going, it's just he's so damn big. How do you, the fact that they even disguise a goddamn screen with his big ass is beyond me. You bro, where his big ass at? You confuse him with the offensive line, like shit. But he different when he get in open field, bro. You let him get to that you let him get to your secondary, you're in trouble.
Oh yeah,
You're in trouble.
GG's.
yeah, I ain't tackling
You're in trouble.
GG's.
He running just as fast as you, and he 2 times bigger than you. So
All right, at least 50 pounds.
and 6'4". You not fucking.
that. And 6'4". By the way, just like on some light shit at the end.
Come here, son. Get your ass out the way.
Yeah.
The last
Alright,
game
well,
we got is the Vikings are -3 at home against the Jets. Do y'all believe in the Mike White emergence, or do y'all think the Vikings have it in them to win another close one? Or do you think
No,
the Vikings are going to beat that ass? I guess that's also an option too.
Yeah, the Vikings will win this game. I would be a little shocked if these dudes lost to Mike White, but I think that's okay, right? Like Mike White doesn't have to be a world beater to justify like the decision that they made. He just has to move the ball. like for real though.
Yeah.
Like that's what we need from him. He needs to move the ball, and if he could move the ball, then like the rest of it will be fine. You kind of just got to be like, okay, if he moves the ball effectively down the field, we won't get blown out. We'll be a competitive team. We'll have probably another 2 close for comfort games, considering who the Vikings are supposed to be this year. But the Vikings still cover if it's only 3.
Hey, listen, fuck that. The Jets get 9, get back. We shouldn't have fucking lost. We shouldn't even fucking lost. That fucking face mask at the end of the game. Fuck, man, it was so many blown calls during that game. I don't even want to talk about it. The Jets get 9, get back. The Jets defense, I feel like they are legit. So I feel like the Jets can do it, honestly. I mean, they've been playing some good ball.
One Jets.
They've been playing some good football. I mean, if you look at it, like their defense was playing really good against us. Well, we didn't have any. Well, we had 1 touchdown in 2 games, and we won both games. I mean, their defense is playing really good, but Zach Wilson was just ass. But now you got Mike White in there. I feel like you know
Zach
what I'm
Wilson.
saying.
Yeah. I think
They beat the Bills. Don't forget.
I think
They
the Vikings should win this game and cover the spread. But I think the Vikings, this is the type of game the Vikings can lose.
should've lost us.
Because they lose games that they shouldn't lose sometimes. Or they're in close games that they shouldn't be, and that's always been in the past. I mean, they're better this season, but in the past they've always been that. But I think I'm excited to watch Sauce on Jefferson. I hope he follows him. Like I'm gonna watch that matchup the
That'll
whole
be a good
game.
matchup.
Like I want, and if he can be successful, that defense is not bad. And if Matt White can do what he did last week, I mean, they could be in the game. Like I said, the Vikings should win this game and cover the spread. But it's another situation where I probably wouldn't bet on the Vikings.
The Jets got talent on offense, and then you look at the Vikings defense. It's not like they're all of that. So I feel like they should be able to put points up.
They lost their top 2 draft picks. They corner and they safety for the season. I'm pretty sure now.
So that's what I'm saying. I feel like they should be able to put some points up on the Vikings,
So
and their defense is good. So I like it.
Sauce and Jetta.
I agree with that. I actually think it'll be a decently high-scoring game because, like, the Vikings' offense always puts up points, even against good teams, good defenses like the
Not
Bills.
Eagles.
Not in that game. That was a while ago. That was like week 2.
No, it's like when they lose, they
That was
lose.
early. That's what I'm saying. Because you see what we did to them.
Yeah.
Boy,
Yeah, that wasn't week 2.
Boy,
When they
That-
lose, they lose.
you asked me if I
Yeah.
expected that game to be like that. Hell no. 40-3 was 3.
I was hoping they played like that against us. I ain't gonna hold you, man. Oh, like shit, y'all got some more of that left.
You supposed to be the top number 2 team in NFC, and you losing like that, and
it
and the
was
way
bad.
you lost to the team who's number 1, and then you come back and lose to us like that. Like they just can't, like, you can't get beat like that and me still have faith in you. Like
We should have put up 30.
that's not good.
If they would have called them penalties, if they would have called that kick return back, we honestly should have won that game. I'm gonna just keep it a buck.
It
Nelson
sounds like-
Aguilar need to get off the fucking team, stopping in the middle of the route. The refs need to put some glasses on because they can't see face masks and shit. But all right, what you was gonna say, Sam?
It sounds like it's a 3-1 for the Vikings, but none of us would be surprised if the Jets win this game.
Not at all.
basically.
I'm the only person to take the Jets. Bet.
Yeah.
I didn't actually take them. I honestly said they should, and I
Hey,
went back
Tom
on
stamp
this
this. Tom stamp this one.
All right.
And that's it for the 5 flag. I'll timestamp this.
Okay, bet. We got the game of the week coming up next, and we have talked about the 2 games a little bit that I have on the docket. The game of the week to me is by far and away the Chiefs versus Bengals, right? AFC Championship rematch game. Chiefs are 9-2. Bengals are 7-4, but have won 7 of their last 9 games, and they might get Jamar Chase back. My honorable mention is Titans-Eagles, though, because the Eagles have been playing down to their competition and the Titans have been overachieving. So that's just big for me. I don't think the Eagles have actually played a good team since week 6 when they played the Cowboys with Cooper Rush. And they ain't been blowing them out the water. So like those are the 2 interesting games for me. They are at different time slots, so you will be able to watch both if you're going to sit down and really give your day to football. The Eagles and Titans would be in the early window. The Chiefs Bengals would be in the afternoon window. So those are the 2 big game of the weeks for me. We will move straight into our no huddle with Cliff.
All right, so we're gonna do things a little similar to how we did it before. I'm gonna say a player, and I'm gonna start with edge rushing pass rushers from the edge pass rushers. Give you a name. You gotta tell me who y'all gonna rock with, and we just gonna probably do 2 rounds of that, and then we'll switch it up. All right, so we're gonna start with Micah Parsons or Myles Garrett.
Listen. We should be saying Myles Garrett. Michael Parsons all day.
I can't do it, yo. I can't do it, yo. Like,
Ooh.
Hey, Michael Parsons for defensive player of the year. You talking about you can't do it.
if you talk about one season, yeah. In this season, I think Micah Parsons has been a better player.
Longevity.
This is second season.
Yeah, and he was top 5. He didn't rush the passer 100, nowhere near the amount of times those guys did last year, and was right with him.
I'm saying we should be saying Myles
But I'm
Garrett.
just biased. I'm just biased.
But you is just biased.
I am biased.
Like You say it, but I'm just biased. Like you like not actually trying to say what you try to say. You are both biased and want people to know that you still think that you're right. Regardless
But I
of
do.
the bias.
Hey, but it is still really close, and I already got a
I
vote
said
for Mike.
we should be going Myles Garrett, but he in Cleveland, and I don't know. It just
So you got you got Micah and got
Yeah.
Miles. Who you got, Sam?
I got Micah Parsons versus the world. Best player under 25.
bro, he
the
fast
future.
as hell coming off the edge. He fast
Alright.
as hell coming off the
Alright.
edge, bro.
All right, so we gonna keep it riding. We gonna go since Micah went 2-1. We can go Micah or Von Miller.
Oh,
Ooh.
Micah.
Ooh,
Micah.
see, he came back with the Micah
Take
off the.
that one fast. Just Von Miller at the end. He at the tail end. You know, vet ring chasing time, and like,
Yeah, he don't
ain't
play
nothing-
as much.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, right?
And he
But,
did just
like,
get hurt. I mean, he did just get hurt, but he
Yeah.
was balling before he got hurt, though.
Yeah, I'm gonna
he's
go
still
Micah,
a
too.
great player.
He
He's
is.
still
Yeah.
a great player.
Micah.
Ain't no denying it. But it's like it's a little different now. At the
Clean-
point where he is in his career.
Clean
Yeah,
sweep.
we was talking about Denver. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a different story.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We gonna go. We got clean sweep on Micah. We gonna go Micah versus Khalil Mack.
I think that is a
I
no-brainer
feel like
too.
the same. I feel like the same thing from before applies. Like the whole, it's like Khalil Mack is really towards the end, not towards the beginning, and has been hurt a lot. As
He don't have the same impact anymore.
Although he's been healthy
Yeah.
this year, so like
This year,
big
he
up to
been
him.
the only one of the only ones out there
Yeah.
with the Chargers that stayed healthy. All right.
Yeah.
So we clean sweep
Micah.
clean sweep Micah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
it's just a little
La-
different because Miles is in his prime.
Yeah. Last one for this round. I mean, a lot of the elite pass rushers are a little older, so it's a little. He's different. We all know. I mean, I'm biased.
This man, but I'm biased.
Hey, all right. Micah Parsons or Nick Bosa.
It's still Michael for me. It's Michael for me. It's more than just football at this point.
Okay.
It's more football now.
Okay. Well, when you put it like that, I might find myself two other Michael Parsons bandwagon.
Let's go. What we got, Sam?
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't want to too loudly say Nick Bosa and be confused.
Hard to follow that up.
Oh shit.
I mean, you can go Nick Bosa, but you know it's still 3-1 at this point. You know what I'm saying?
I gotta go Micah versus the world. I'm sticking with it.
Bet.
And Nick Bosa's not gonna be the one I switch over for. That'll
Hey, so that completes that round. We got Micah. He had a few knocks. I think he lost like 2 votes, only about 2 out of that. But clean sweep through the votes. So we're gonna start with the other Bosa. This is a whole new round. We're gonna start with Joey Bosa, Brian Burns.
Brian Burns.
Brian Burns is so young and healthy, and like
He
Joey
be
Bosa,
balling.
it's like that's just like kind of a. You might kind of get this one on just like a little bit of an injury default for me. Like, he nice, but this man different.
But I'm going based off of impact too.
Yeah.
Even though the Panthers don't be
Don't be
Per
winning
se,
no
like-
games.
winning as much games, their defense still be good and he still be balling. Like
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Joey be hurt.
the
This
Chargers
year.
be getting ran through. He was just talking about 5 yards a pop and giving up how many yards through the air. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I gotta go Brian Burns too.
Burns. I like that. I probably would have gone the same way. We got Brian Burns or Max Crosby.
that's tough.
I'm
I ain't
gonna-
gonna hold you.
I think I'm gonna go Max Crosby. He's been like the one bright light in the Raiders defense that finds a way to blow games all the time. But he always seems to be stepping up and making big plays. And
Yes.
That's true.
he's really easy to root for too with his story and everything, which shouldn't factor in, but I just like him too.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a vibe. Like
Where you going, Ant? It's tough. It's tough.
like I feel like the Max Crosby point is mad valid, and that pushes me on Max Crosby. I think Brian Burns, in a couple years, like one or two, probably two, makes this like a non-contest. But right now, I think just like considering that Max Crosby has to be a one-man defense, and Brian Burns has a lot of great defensive players around him that are young.
Yeah.
I'm going with
Okay, we can give Max a nudge.
2x.
Yeah, we can give him the nudge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I probably would have gone Brian Burns, but I definitely agree that he has been the one. Every time I'm watching that defense and they need to play, like, or they get a play, he's making the play.
Yeah,
Like he's making the play. So I mean, he's been balling. He's definitely somebody to root for. Okay, so we're gonna switch it up then and go, or no, we're gonna keep with should we keep with Crosby or go with Burns? I'm gonna switch with Crosby since Crosby won the ladder. We can go to Crosby or Zadarius Smith.
Crosby.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Crosby too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one didn't even feel hard for me, and I ain't got nothing against Jarius Smith.
No.
Besides, he played for the Packers. But that's about it. Like
He don't play for him no more though, but
he did it.
he
He
did.
stayed within the division
Like,
still.
just
Hey, look,
'cause
he's
you-
still in the Vikings now.
Yeah, he's still in the
like,
division.
it's like, what you mean? Like, oh, well, I ain't doing no more. Well, you still did it. Nah, but you still did it. Like, no.
All right, we're gonna come with another Viking. They got two pass rushers out there. We can go Max Crosby or Danielle Hunter.
I think I'm going Max Crosby again. Danielle Hunter's been awesome. He's another one that's like, they don't have much out there, but Harrison Smith, Patrick Peterson, and Danielle Hunter are out there trying.
Hauling their asses off.
I'm gonna go Max Crosby too. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Danielle Hunter. I actually think he is mad talented.
He is.
It's like really. I
think
want to
he's
say
underrated.
maybe the word I'm looking for is like culture changing for that team right now.
Yeah.
So I like him a lot. So I'm gonna give him the props there. I think he deserves that.
I honestly feel like people don't talk about him enough as a pass rusher. Out of a lot of the
That's
names,
true, too.
out of all the names we just said, I feel like he gets talked about the least, which is kind of crazy.
I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Max still won that one, so we're gonna go Max Crosby, Bradley Chubb with the last one.
Bradley Chubb. I had to switch it up. Sorry. But, yeah, I just like Bradley Chubb, especially this year. He looked amazing in Denver. The defense continued to look amazing. I think that he's going to be
That is true.
That's the only good thing
Big.
about that team.
a big piece for the Dolphins for a potential playoff run.
I agree, and I'm gonna go with Chubb. Like you said, even though they weren't winning games in Denver, that defense was still stout as hell, and they should have been winning games. And then now to come to Miami, I mean, plug and play impact player. So I'm gonna go with Chubb here.
Yeah, I think it's.
He can't score touchdowns on offense. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, I mean that's a team that if they had scored 17 in all their games, I think they would have won them like almost every single one, right?
exactly.
So like that's the wild part. So I'm also going Chubb. There's a little bit of like can he stay on the field-ish, especially the previous years in this one. But when he is on that field, that boy is crazy, lights out. Like he was good enough that they felt comfortable trading Von Miller.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, and Von Miller was the face of that franchise. Like,
That's crazy. Yeah.
yeah, they traded.
That's
He
crazy.
was good enough that they traded the face of their franchise because they felt like it would be all right up front, and then it was like not just that they did it and it worked out, but they couldn't score no points. So, like, yeah, I'm feeling this one for him for sure. Yeah, it's Chubb.
Okay. So we got a sweep on Chubb to cap off the pass rush, the edge pass rushers. All right, so something a little different. This cornerback island. I'm gonna give you 4 corners, and you gonna rank them 1 to 4 overall.
Based
right?
off their man capability or just in general?
I mean, it's really
You said
really
island.
it's that's true.
Preference,
I
pretty
think
much.
I think it's really on who you like the most. It's really, I mean, obviously skills in play. Who you like the most as a corner? Who you would take?
Okay.
So these 4, this is gonna be tough as hell. I feel like Tyreek Woolen for the Seahawks, Pat Surtain for the Broncos, Sauce Gardner for the Jets, and Darius Slay for the Eagles.
Yeah.
Bro, that is hard.
Yeah, that's some nasty work you got going on.
Facts.
That's
Hey,
some nasty work you got going on.
All right, I'm gonna kick it off.
Let's
Anybody
go,
got
Tim.
a problem with Slay at 1?
No,
I don't think you
that's
really
okay.
can. I don't think
So-
you really can because the other guys are so young. Like their skin in the game versus Slay's skin in the game is tough. But
Are we talking about building around a guy or right now, current time?
I'm going right now because if we're going to build, then Slay obviously going to be at the bottom, and you're going to be like, damn. But I'm gonna go right now.
I think Slay is still at the top of the game. Like, he been a top corner for a minute.
And he was
So-
with the Lions for a minute. So
2, I will probably have to go. You got. Ooh. I'm gonna go Pat Surtain.
at 2,
Ooh.
okay.
Stealing my order.
Sauce, and then Tariq.
I agree 100%. That's how I would have done it too.
Okay, we got 2. We got 2 going: Slay, Surtain, Sauce, Tyreek.
Man, okay, so it's in like the sense of transparency that we've been going off of this week, I talked a little spicy about Slay in our cornerback rankings, right? I was like, man, don't tackle. That's still true, but goddamn, he covered the fuck out the ball. Like, he got to be one after what I saw him do to Justin Jefferson.
Hey, you hear me?
Boy had him in the torture chamber,
Hey.
torture chamber all night long. Like, So I agree with that. Who'd you put 2, T.O.?
Pat Surtain.
Yeah, nah, bro. I'm giving it to Sauce over Surtain.
Ooh, why is it
Bro.
spicy?
Bro, Sauce is different. Sauce is different, bro. Like, and he a rookie. Like, we saw Pat Surtain's rookie year. We were like, yo, that's crazy, right?
He was
And then
nice.
we watched, Sauce come through and kind of blow that out the water.
Yeah, if I had to go right now,
I'm projecting
Yeah.
Sauce forward.
that's Surtain for me right now.
I'm projecting Sauce forward. I believe that Sauce is really just that different. So right now, I got him in that 2 spot. Surtain at the 3 spot. Woolen at the 4 spot. I think he's
Okay,
undeniable.
so 2 and 3 flip flop.
So just a little flip flop. My one thing about Sauce is that Sauce plays physical for his size, and he does things that a savvy corner does. He's getting away with holds on a lot of big plays.
Yes, sir. He got
He's
away
getting
on a ton
holds
of
with
them.
them. But it's because he ain't here. He's right with you, and I can give you a little tug and get out because I'm fucking 6'3". I can give you a little tug and gain space. But y'all watch him. I've been watching. That's why I'm excited to watch him against Jefferson. He's a savvy player, and he plays with a lot of energy, and he's in swagger. Like, and that's just so. My personal would probably, I'd probably go Slay, Sauce, Sertan, Woolen as well.
Yeah, that
Okay.
boy was holding the fuck out of Chase Claypool last week. Right, and they ain't called none of it. I was like, that's wild.
They
I
might
think they
be.
only called one, right?
Bruh.
They called one. What Claypool called it anyway.
They might be
Yeah,
letting him play.
That's some look. If the receiver got the ball anyway, that's not the one we worried about.
That's facts.
like,
It's probably like, all right, bet. He got it
yeah,
anyway.
he was like, I mean, you know, he had to get one, right? That's what he's thinking to himself. I mean, he had to get one the way I've been holding the fuck out this boy.
And that joint got declined, so that joint ain't even going on him.
Yeah,
Oh, he called it anyway.
nah,
right.
bro's a menace.
All right, we
Like-
got a little bit of a different set here. We're gonna go with same corners in general, but I want y'all to same thing. I want y'all to rank them, but we're only gonna do 3 instead of 4. So we're gonna go Marlon Humphreys with the Ravens, Jonathan Jones, who's been playing solid for the Pats, and Trayvon Diggs.
Is Jonathan Jones the Pats rookie that used to replace JC?
Yeah. Well,
He's
he-
not
or
he's
he
not
not a
rookie.
rookie?
he not a rookie. You saying he was a rookie, or you saying he is a rookie?
Well, this is second year?
Nah, he
How far
is
is
He in like year 3,
like 5,
4.
6.
I don't remember
Something
hearing
like
that
that.
man's name until this year.
Hold
Like
on.
that's all I'm trying to say.
And
Like,
he playing ball this year though. That's why it's like
I don't remember hearing his name a single time until this year.
I think he like 25, 26, bro. Like I think he been
he's
in
29.
In it. Oh,
He 29.
bro, a vet. Okay, I don't
Hey,
know.
that-
No
he
one
didn't-
talked
he
about
didn't-
he
him
was
until
5,
this
6
year.
years. He's
Damn.
only-
So he didn't came out. I mean, I really looked at corners stats this year, and that's how I knew his. I watched several of y'all games, and I done seen him just making plays, and so yeah, I threw him in there. So Humphreys, Jonathan Jones, Trayvon Diggs.
For me,
This is 7th season.
damn. Well, okay. Am I wilding or do people not talk about him like that until recently?
They haven't.
That's true. That's true. He been on his shit lately. That's why.
Yeah, because I didn't even know bro existed until this year.
He was a good second
That's-
corner behind because we had JC and Stephon.
Yeah.
And he got mentored by them. He was good, but obviously you got an MVP and Stephon, and you got MVP and JC Jackson. You're not gonna get.
The Pats always
Thanks
got
much.
at least one really good corner.
Yeah. All right. So he's still gonna end up 3 for me, bruh. Like even though he's playing wild this year, because I feel like I want to put Marlon Humphreys 1. Like
I
even
can't.
though the season that like Trayvon Diggs had last year, he's not having like a bad season or nothing this year, but it's not like last year was crazy, right? It's hard to replicate that. But
Yeah.
Marlon Humphreys over time is a ball hawk, and even though he get burnt and like will mess up coverage every now and then, so does Trayvon. So like I just think over time what I've seen from Humphreys is crazy. I want him 1. I want Trayvon 2. I want Jonathan 3.
I'm gonna go Trayvon 1, Marlon Humphreys 2, Jonathan 3, and since we talked about clamping Justin Jefferson as being like a standard for greatness, gotta talk about Trayvon clamping Justin Jefferson a few weeks ago.
The boy scored 3 points. Come on, man.
Yeah, I
Okay.
just think with the crazy season he had last year and with how the Cowboys defense is playing this year, and I feel like he's playing into that system a bit more rather than just going for the ball so much. So I have him at 1 and Marlon at 2 because I don't know, just eye test. I feel like when I watch the Ravens, Marlon's fucking up. Like,
He on the
But
wrong
then
end.
he also
end of-
making a big ass play on the other
Yeah.
end, right? Getting the pick, getting the forced fumble recovery. Like Marvin has
That's
played
true.
his whole career like Trayvon Diggs rookie year. I mean,
Yeah.
sophomore year. That was his sophomore year. Like,
That's. I'd like to see those career interception stats, because
Oh,
those shits
Humphries?
probably compared to Diggs. I think those shits probably make you look at that a little bit.
reconsider.
You look at those career interceptions. And I know the fumbles. I know he's a playmaker.
I ain't gonna hold y'all. Jonathan Jones, one of the best cover corners in the league right now.
I know he was over there typing. I heard.
I'm not listen because I know though.
I know, but he wouldn't be on the list if I didn't think he was. If I didn't think he was in that range though.
If we going off right now, I don't know. He definitely him.
Start from the
I'll
bottom.
probably
Start
put
from the
him-
bottom. Who last?
Marlowe at the bottom for me. He's number 3.
Okay.
And then for me, I can flip flop Trayvon and Jonathan Jones. But Jonathan Jones been balling. Like he only giving up like 30% completion percentage. He got 25 targets, only 8 catches. So, I mean,
Theo. So when JC left, you was like, I don't know. JC just might, be a benefactor of that system. You don't think that applies here needed to him?
listen, Bill always finds guys. If it's
Is he finding
one thing
guys,
he can
or
do,
is it the system?
you got to go out there and perform. I don't give a damn about the system. If you going out there getting cooked,
Okay.
that's like us bringing in a couple years ago Brandon Browner. Nigga was out there getting cooked.
Big for no
Fucking
reason.
PI calls out the ass. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay.
I mean, he
Yeah.
definitely benefits from the system, but at the same time, it's like, in a sense, you got to do your job. You still got to cover the guy. And I feel like he's been one of the highest graded corners in the league. Him and honestly, Jack Jones was rated high as well. But me personally, Jonathan Jones, one of the top corners in the league.
So you got Jones, Diggs, and Humphries.
I feel like Diggs and Jonathan Jones are like 1 and 2 for me. Like I can go either or, and then Marlowe number 3 for me.
Okay. You already get yours, Sam?
Yeah, I have Trayvon, and then Marlon Humphreys, and then Jonathan Jones.
Bet. I'm gonna go with. Yeah,
Y'all
y'all know I'm going.
Trayvon.
Y'all know I'm going.
Just give us 2 and 3. Just give us 2 and 3. That's all we worry about.
Honestly, I looked at career interceptions, just compared Diggs and Humphries, and Diggs pretty much had, if I'm not mistaken, somebody can fact check me here. Diggs pretty much had last season what Humphries has in his career.
That season was crazy, bro.
I understand.
He gave up a shit ton of yards though. Ain't gonna cap.
He did. But I personally, and that's been people's knock on Diggs, but who's actually been doing a lot better in coverage this year on giving up yards. But
Yeah.
my thing is, like, are you really that upset about the yards given up when the man's getting you the ball back and scoring touchdowns?
I'm not saying that because I love a ball hawk corner, but at the same time, like when I look at corners, I'm looking at a guy that's not giving up yards, but that's also getting interceptions. Like personally, we've had some really good corners in New England. So, obviously Stephon, JC, Revis, Akeem Talib.
We keep going.
Ty
Ty Law.
You know what I'm
y'all-
saying?
That's what I'm saying. Y'all always had a really good corner. Y'all have always had a really good corner, and that's why I picked Jonathan Jones. But he's J.C. Jackson. Like, there's always been a corner out of New England that develops and turns into somebody. But that is true about the
Malcolm
system.
Butler too.
That's true about that system part, though. How many of them leave New England and are as successful as
Hey,
they
listen, Belichick is great about letting guys go when he know it's running thin.
Is
Yeah,
it
that's
rough?
true.
Okay.
were. That's true.
But everybody pretty much other than Tom Brady, and we all know that was the
He
dumbest
tried,
shit ever.
and it sounded like he tried
he
to let
used
that
the-
go.
he used all.
No,
the-
he wanted a couple years ago when we had Garoppolo. He wanted Garoppolo to be the guy. That's why we traded him because Tom was like, "Nah, there's some bullshit. Y'all trying to push me out." That's why we ended up trading Jimmy G. But Belichick, listen, we've had a lot of good people that have left, went elsewhere, and haven't had the same success. So a lot of it definitely goes into coaching and the schemes. But I mean, at the end of the day, you got to go out there and perform. I don't give a damn who the coach is. If I tell you it's man to man, I don't care if you're playing for New England or if you're playing for LA, you playing for Seattle. I don't care who you playing for. Stick that man. So,
Hey, okay, you ain't lying.
but that's me personally. That's how I feel about it.
Okay. That's all. That's all. That's all I got for that segment. Nice little switch up. Give a little respect to the defensive players.
They don't get
So
enough
we-
love. That's
They don't get
always
enough
right.
love.
So we're going to that ballers, man.
Yeah, let's get into that ballers bouquet.
So, too many times we focus too much on the negative that the athletes do while human. So what we like to do is point out the good that they do. And it's crazy that we actually talking about my man Jonathan Jones, because I gave it to him this week. So so actually during our bye week, or the Patriots bye week, what he did was he went back to his college, which is Auburn, which is in Alabama. So on November 12th, what he did was he hosted a tailgate at Auburn that raised funds to tackle food insecurity. And teaming up with Auburn's Sustenance, enough money was generated to feed 450 local families with meals and snacks on the days that Auburn City schools were closed for the holidays. So to date, the project has distributed 43,440 meals and snacks for those in need. And Jones planned to plant gardens at 9 local elementary schools to further combat food insecurity as well. And then also later the same week, he returned back to Foxborough. He provided holiday dinner for 250 kids at Blue Hill Boys and Girls Club in Boston, and also distributed turkeys and frozen meals to 100 more community members. And then he closed out the event with a Turkey Classic flag football game where he was the honorary quarterback one, and what was pretty dope for the kids for him to be out there, throwing them the ball. So definitely like to give my mans a big ups.
Okay, that's dope. All right, that's dope. That's dope. That's this episode for this week. We can't wait to get back to y'all next Wednesday to give y'all episode 95. We are closely approaching the big one, hundo. We appreciate everybody who stopped through, rocked with us, whether it's on Spotify, Facebook, YouTube, etc. Make sure you follow, like, and subscribe so you can rock with us every week.
Especially on YouTube. We're 30-something subs away from 10K. Hit that subscribe button.
Facts. Facts.